Alrighty, folks, we're now 5-0 in our last 5 extra daily picks on my premium page. We had the under in the Royals-Reds game yesterday, and you know that game ended up cashing. And the good news is I've got another extra daily pick going off here for you today. It actually costs just 9 cents a day for 30 days worth of service. And of course, as an added bonus, you also get access to my daily best play every single day during that time frame. Absolutely free. It's included with your purchase. Of course, you know I got to give a huge shout out once again to all of my chairman members out there, because you guys are coming off yet another winning day on my premium site yesterday. We cashed in on the Dodgers Twins under in that Reds game, and we also hit on a two-leg parlay. And the only way you could have access to all those winners is to join my chairman membership. Before we go ahead and move on, just want to take a quick timeout and welcome you to my Major League Baseball free pick video here today for Saturday, August 17th, 2024. Happy Saturday to you. Hopefully you had a great start to your weekend. And of course, my name is Brock Page. I've been dishing out free sports picks on YouTube since 2016. Once again, folks, we are 5-0 in our last 5 extra daily picks. The good news is I have another extra daily pick going off here for you today. And as promised, we are back in the original studio here today. Had a nice 7-day trip down to Ocean City, Maryland. Of course, played a little golf and burned a couple $100 bills at the Ocean Downs. So anyway, we are back, and good to be back with some long-form content here for you. A little bit more extensive breakdowns versus the quick pick recaps. But anyway, I'm rambling, I'm stammering. Let's go ahead and dive right into some free content. Not sure where the baseball is here. There we go. We're going to start off with the Mariners at the Pirates, 105 Eastern first pitch. Seattle's minus $1.45, totals 8.5. Luis Castillo for Seattle, Bailey Falter for Pittsburgh. And, Falter, definitely having a tough time getting the W this season. He's got a 5-7 record, ERA in the 4s. And out of his last 10 starts, these guys, they took the loss in all of those games except for 2. And a big problem for Pittsburgh this year, it's been the bats, especially at PNC Park. These guys are a bottom 5 run-producing team at home in the National League. And they're going to face a 10-win Luis Castillo, who's got 148 strikeouts and a 1.16 whip. Now, he's also gotten, plenty of run support in recent outings. As a matter of fact, the M scored 24 total runs in his last 3 starts. Cal Raleigh's got 26 homers, 76 RBI, club leader in both of those categories. And despite a bit of a tough year in Tampa, Randy Arozarena definitely benefiting from a change of scenery. He's got an on-base percentage of .410 with his new ball club. Now, injury-wise, Crawford's on the injury report for Seattle. McCutchen and Cruz questionable for Pittsburgh. When it comes to the total, the Pirates went 6-2 to the under in their last 8 Bailey Falter starts. Meanwhile, 6 out of the Mariners' last 10 outings stayed under the total as well. Give me Seattle minus 145, under 8.5. Next game, Yankees-Tigers, 110 Eastern first pitch. The Yankees are minus 220, totals 9 runs. Carlos Rodon for New York, Keter Montero for Detroit. And Montero is just 3-5 with an ERA close to 6. Of course, at the plate, he is backed by a bottom 5 hit-producing lineup in the American League. The Tigers actually scored just 2.8 runs a game in their last 10 gatherings with the Bombers. So if you're into historical trends, you certainly want to think about that one there. And, we should end up seeing more of the same here today as they square off against a 13-win Carlos Rodon. 143 punch-outs for the lefty. Funny, a couple months ago, I heard Chris Mad Dog Russo saying he doesn't trust Rodon. Never have, never will. And, 13 wins is pretty good, especially in a very tough AL East. So another horrible take by the Mad Dog. Now, at the dish, the Pinstripers are the best road scoring team in the game, doing a great job away from the Bronx. Aaron Judge leads the league in homers, RBI, and OPS. Of course, Juan Soto with an OPS in the thousands in himself. Both of those guys always on base. They're either hitting it out of the park or walking. Wow. Anyway, injury-wise, Jazz Chisholm, he's on the injury report. Cole Keith, he is questionable for Detroit. The Tigers went 67% to the over this year in all of their Keter Montero starts. Meanwhile, New York saw 6 out of their last 10 get over the total themselves. Give me the Yankees -1.5, over 9. Next game, Blue Jays Cubs, 2:20 p.m. East. Chicago's -175, totals 8 runs. Justin Steele for Chicago, Chris Bassett for Toronto. Now, Bassett's just 1 win shy of double digits for the season. It's actually 129 punch-outs already for the righty. And when it comes to cashing in on the run line, the Blue Jays have done a nice job over the past couple of weeks. They're 7-3 against the number in their last 10 ball games, 4-0 against the number in their last 4 away from home. And they're facing a Cubbies team who doesn't really play their best when Justin Steele pitches. The lefty's got a 3-5 record on the year despite some terrific outings. And, most of that has to do with poor hitting, especially at Wrigley Field. The Cubs are a bottom 5 hit-producing lineup at home. Thomas Nitto's on the injury report for Chicago. Bo Bichette for Toronto. Chicago's 10-1 to the under in their last 11 Justin Steele starts. They're also 60% to the under in all of their games against American League opponents. Give me Toronto +1.5, under 8. Next game, D-backs Rays, 4:10 p.m. East. Arizona's $1.15, totals 7. Zach Gallen for the D-backs, Jeffrey Springs for Tampa Bay. And through just 13-plus innings, the lefty Springs already has an ERA of 4.61 along with a 1.61 whip. But even if Springs throws well here today, the Rays have been pathetic offensively at the trot. Tampa scores fewer runs a game at home than any other lineup besides one. Unfortunately for them, they're facing a 9-5 Zach Gallen, who's got an ERA in the 3s. He's also backed by the highest run-scoring team in the game. Got to be built for a track meet when you face these guys. Ketel Marte's in the top 10 in homers and OPS. Jock Peterson's got an OPS of 940. Now, injury-wise, Christian Walker's on the injury report for Arizona. Richie Palacio for Tampa Bay. When it comes to the total, 6 out of the Rays' last 10 meetings with Arizona did get over the total. So if you're into historical trends, plenty of overs to go around. Of course, the D-backs saw their last 3 straight on the road get over the total themselves. 7-3 to the over in their last 10 at any location. Give me the Diamondbacks -$1.15, over 7. Next contest, a little NL East action. Marlins Mets, 4:10 Eastern start. The Mets are $1.90, totals 8.5. Luis Severino for New York, Max Meyer for Miami. Now, Meyer's got himself an ERA of 5.20 this year. The Marlins are the lowest run-scoring team in the National League. And they're going to face a Mets club who ranks in the top 10 in runs per game. And out of their last 10 gatherings with the Marlins, New York averaged 5.1 runs per contest. Francisco Lindor leads the roster in hits and RBI. Mark Vientos has an OPS just about in the 900s. Now, injury-wise, Marte is on the report for New York. Dane Myers for Miami. When it comes to the total, the Marlins are 14-6 to the under against NL East opponents on the road. Meanwhile, New York's 11-6 to the under in their divisional home games. Give me the Mets -1.5, under 8.5 runs. All right, next matchup, some more NL East action. Nationals, Phillies, 6:05 East. Philadelphia is the $2 favorite, totals 9. Christopher Sanchez for the Titans, Mackenzie Gore for Washington. And the lefty Gore's actually suffered double-digit losses this year with an ERA of 4.50. And these Washington pitchers, well, they've been brutal away from the nation's capital. They're allowing more hits a game on the road than any other staff besides one. And they're facing a Philly squad who loves hitting at Citizens Bank Park. These guys are a top 3 run-producing team at home. And out of their last 10 meetings with Washington, the Phils amassed nearly 100 hits during that span. Alec Boehm's got the most hits in the lineup, top 10 in the league in RBI. Of course, Bryce Harper, he's got an on-base percentage of .911. And out of numerous starts all season long, lefty Christopher Sanchez has a respectable ERA in the 3s. Now, injury-wise, Hayes is on the report for Philadelphia, Gallo for Washington. 7 out of the Nats' last 10 ball games did get over the total. They're also 8-2 to the over in their last 10 Mackenzie Gore starts. Give me the Phillies -1.5, over 9. Next matchup, little interleague play here. Royals-Reds, 6:40 p.m. East. Cincinnati's $1.30, totals 8.5. Nick Lodolo for the Reds, Michael Wacha for Kansas City. And, this should be a solid matchup on the bump here today. Both pitchers with some very good numbers. Wacha's got 9 wins with an ERA in the 3s. Meanwhile, Lodolo on the other side, he's 9-4 himself with a 1.14 whip. Of course, total-wise, more conflicting factors there that make this one tough to pick. Since he saw 3 out of their last 4 at the Great American Ballpark stay under the line. But the Royals on the other side, they went 7-3 to the over in their last 10. So we got some unders for Cincy, some overs for KC. So if you want to see whether I'm making a play on the money line, run line, or total in this one, this game is being featured as my chairman play on my premium page. And just a friendly reminder, folks, if you sign up for that membership, you're going to get access to that package every single day for the next 30 days. And as an added bonus, you're also going to get access to all of my cheaper memberships during that time frame every single day, absolutely free. They're going to be included with your purchase. All right, next matchup, a little AL East action. Red Sox-Orioles, 7:05 Eastern first pitch. Baltimore's $1.25, totals 9.5. Cade Povich for Baltimore, Brian Bayo for Boston. And I'll tell you what, don't let Bayo's record, fool you. If you're kind of a casual baseball bettor, you're going to see that, that record and be like, wow, this is pretty attractive here. But, Bayo, believe it or not, he consistently finds trouble. He's currently got an ERA of 4.97 along with a sloppy 1.44 whip. And of course, as a team, the Red Sox lost 6 out of their last 9, and they've struggled with this Baltimore lineup recently. Out of their last 10 gatherings, the O's averaged over 6.3 runs a game. As far as this season's concerned, well, Baltimore's a top 3 run-scoring team. Gunnar Henderson's got the most hits on the team. Anthony Santander's 3rd in the bigs in home runs. And I'll tell you what, when the O's face the AL East, they're 27-14 in those divisional games. That's good for a win percentage of .659. Now, injury-wise, Adley Rutschman's questionable for Baltimore. Westberg's still on the IR injury report as well. Now, total-wise, 3 out of the Bo Sox last 4 road games did get over the total. They're also 8-2 to the over in their last 10. Meanwhile, Baltimore saw 7 out of their last 10 meetings with the Red Sox get over the line themselves. So once again, if you're into historical trends, plenty of overs to go around. Give me Baltimore -$1.25, over 9.5. Next game, Twins-Rangers, 7:05 Eastern first pitch. Texas is -135, totals 8.5. Nathan Eovaldi for the Rangers, David Festa for the Twins. And even though Uncle Festa's allowed his fair share of runs, strikeouts are definitely up for the righty. He's punched out 33 hitters in just 27-plus innings, of course, averaging over a strikeout an inning. He's also backed by a solid lineup of hitters. The Twins are in the top 5 in runs per game. Willie Castro's got the most hits in the lineup. Royce Lewis with an OPS of .982. They're facing a struggling Ranger club who lost 8 out of their last 10, and they just don't want to win at home. They don't want to hit at home. The Rangers are a bottom 10 run-scoring team in their own building. When it comes to cashing in on the run line, the Rangers failed to cover in 3 out of their last 4 at Globe Life Field. Now, injury-wise, Correa and Buxton are on the report for Minnesota. When it comes to the total, 3 out of the Rangers' last 4 home games did fall under the total. Meanwhile, Minnesota went 60% to the under in their last 10. Give me the Twins plus 1.5, under 8. Next game, Giants A, 7:07 Eastern start time. San Francisco's minus $1.25, totals 8 runs. Hayden Birdsong for the Giants, Ozzie Beto for Oakland. And even though Beto's been serviceable, the A's have averaged under 3.1 runs a game in his last 3 starts. And that's not overly shocking, as the A's are a bottom 5 hit-producing team. And they're going to face Hayden Birdsong, who's struck out 44 batters in 36-plus innings. And I'll tell you what, these San Francisco pitchers have pretty much dominated the A's in recent meetings. They've held Oakland to just 2.9 runs a game in their last 10 head-to-head gatherings. Now, injury-wise, Estrada's on the IR injury report for San Francisco. Ruiz and Soderstrom still for Oakland as well. When it comes to the total, no real surprise. The A's last 4 straight at the Coliseum fell under the total. They're also 60% to the under in their last 10. Give me San Francisco minus $1.25, under 8. Next ball game, White Sox Astros 7:10 Eastern first pitch. Houston's minus 360, totals 8.5. Hunter Brown for the Stros, Chris Flexen for Chicago. And, Flexen's just 2-11 with an ERA of 5.34. And just in case you didn't know, Chicago is the lowest run-scoring team in professional baseball. And they're going to face a 10-win Hunter Brown here today, who's got an ERA in the 3s along with 139 strikeouts. And, these Houston pitchers have been tough to hit against at Minute Maid Park. They're averaging just about double-digit strikeouts a game there. But, it's not just pitching for the Astros either. These guys, they have little troubles getting base runners. They're actually in the top 3 in the bigs in hits per game. Yordan Alvarez, he has an OPS in the high 900s. Jose Altuve leads the clubhouse in hits. When it comes to the injury list, Alex Bregman's questionable for the Stros. Now, total-wise, 4 out of Hunter Brown's last 7 starts did get over the total. While Chicago went 5-3 to the over in their last 8 flexing outings themselves. Give me Houston minus 1.5, over 8.5. Next matchup, let's try that again. Guardians Brewers, 7:15 East. Milwaukee's $1.25, total 7.5. Freddie Peralta for Milwaukee, Tanner Bybee for Cleveland. Bybee's 10-4 in the year with a 1.04 whip. And believe it or not, this Cleveland pitching staff allows fewer runs a game than any other lineup besides one. And they're going to face a Milwaukee club who struggles making contact at home. These guys are striking out nearly double-digit times a game in their own building. Of course, on the mound, Freddie Peralta's got an ERA in the 4s, does not have a winning record. Now, injury-wise, Perkins and Dunn, they're both on the injury report for Milwaukee. Give me Cleveland plus 105. Next matchup, Dodgers-Cardinals, 7:15 East. The Dodgers are $1.35, totals 9. Bobby Miller for the Dodgers, Andre Polani for St. Louis. And Polani's just 4-6 with an ERA in the 4s. Of course, at the plate, the Cards have struggled to manufacture runs. They're in the bottom 5 in the National League in runs per game. They're going to face a Dodger club who's got one of the best run-scoring lineups in the league. LA's in the top 5 in run production per game. Shohei Ohtani leads the National League in homers. He's got an OPS of 984. And Mookie Betts has an on-base percentage of 405. Now, injury-wise, Taylor, he's on the report for the Dodgers. Carpenter and Ciani for St. Louis. 4 out of the Dodgers' last 5 road games did get over the line. They're also 7-3 to the over in their last 10 at any location. Give me the Dodgers minus $1.30, over 9. Next matchup, Padres-Rockies, 8:10 Eastern start. San Diego's the $2 favorite, totals 10.5. Dylan Cease for the Pods, Kyle Freeland for Colorado. Now, Freeland's got an ERA of 5.75 along with a 1.49 whip. And I'll tell you what, these Colorado pitchers have been brutal at Coors Field. They're allowing a league-worst 10.4 hits a game at home. And they're squaring off against the best road-hitting team in the game. Jurickson Profar leads the club in hits and RBI. Luis Arraez hits .312. Of course, on the mound, they've got one of the best in the National League in Dylan Cease on the hill. The righty's got 11 wins and a 1.01 whip. And no real surprise here, folks. Cease also has an ERA in the threes. And like I said, a solid 1.01 whip. Now, injury-wise, Bryant, Jones, and Amador are still out for the Rockies. Colorado did go 60% to the over in their last 10. Meanwhile, 5 out of the Pods' last 7 road games got over the line. Give me San Diego -1.5, over 11. And with that, folks, we're going to dive into our next and final breakdown for the video here. It's going to be in that Braves-Angels contest. That'll be a 9:38 Eastern first pitch. Atlanta's the $2.25 favorite on the road, totals 8 runs. Chris Sale for Atlanta, Griffin Canning for Los Angeles. Now, Canning's got double-digit losses and an ERA in the 5s. Of course, at the plate, the Angels have been putrid in front of their own crowd. These guys are in the bottom 5 in runs per game on their own diamond. And they're going to square off against a 13-3 Chris Sale, who's got 177 strikeouts and a sub-1 whip. These Atlanta pitchers have been impossible to hit against when they travel. They allow fewer runs a game on the road than any other staff in the league. They're also striking out more hitters a game on the road than any other franchise. Now, injury-wise, Soler is questionable for the Braves. Albies is out. Meanwhile, for the Angels, Anthony Rendon is questionable for them. Now, total-wise, 3 out of LA's last 4 at Angels Stadium fell under the line. They're also 60% to the under in their last 10 at any location. Give me the Braves -1.5, under 8 runs. And with that, folks, and now it is time for our quick pick recap. Give me the Mariners -145, under 8.5. Yankees -1.5, over 9. Blue Jays +1.5, under 8. Diamondbacks -$1.15, over 7. Mets -1.5, under 8.5. Phillies -1.5, over 9. I have no free pick available for you in the Royals-Reds game. Baltimore -$1.25, over 9.5. Minnesota +1.5, under 8. San Francisco -$1.25, under 8 runs. Houston -1.5, over 8.5. I like Cleveland +105, getting the job done for some money line cash. Dodgers -130, over 9 runs. Padres -1.5, over 11. Give me the Braves -1.5, under 8 runs. And with that, folks, that is going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on my premium site. Now, if you do end up getting a membership here today on patreon.com/BrockPage, just a friendly reminder, you're going to get access to that membership every single day for the next 30 days. As an added bonus, you're also going to get access to all of my cheaper memberships absolutely free. They're going to be included with your purchase. But most importantly, guys, got to thank you for joining me right here on the free video. Really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. With that said, folks, happy Saturday to you. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my premium site at patreon.com/BrockPage.